Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So I thought I'd take a minute just have a quick look at what's going on with CyberBrokers. So partly the reason that is just launched a new website, which looks pretty cool and has some nice interactive elements as well. CyberBrokers is, I think, one of the best NFT collections. So when it launched, it did this very cool sort of layered artwork that's all on chain. So that was a big deal. You weren't just buying a sort of a string of numbers that pointed you towards a centralized database when you bought an NFT. A very good team in terms of sort of crypto background, very solid. I know some of them, and I think this is building out a really good sort of deep universe that has, they have been progressing. There's always stuff going on there. I wouldn't say I spend an awful lot of time being active in the community, but it's certainly a project that I'm really sort of quite interested in. So this is the new website. They spent 6 months building this. It's gone from cyberbrokers.io to cyberbrokers.com. That's not a big thing, obviously, but just sort of nice that you do this. And up here you can see it says uncovering the paradigm lost. So this is obviously a play on Paradise Lost, Milton's famous poem. So that's sort of nice as well, because I like that sort of stuff, but probably most people are not so bothered. Well, CyberBrokers is interesting because, it has many different sort of elements, and it's not a game, it's not a metaverse, it has, elements of all those sort of things, but it is, I think, an interesting example of a blockchain-based sort of community project that could go many different directions. But has just a strong vision for what it is. That's partly visual. I think that's partly sort of narrative and backstory. But all those things sort of reinforce each other than just being, sort of. I think a lot of projects have sort of good artwork and spend a lot of time making up sort of lore, and it doesn't hang together. I think CyberBrokers, it does. And I think this is sort of the projects we would. I wouldn't want all projects to be this because it's ambitious, but I think we want some sort of ambitious blockchain projects to be sort of building out something new, something we couldn't do in the non-Web3 world, in the world where people weren't owning their assets. So let's go and click to explore. So this is sort of quite nice and just playful. So we can just see these are just sort of some of the assets in this CyberBrokers universe. So some of these we can see here are the actual characters. So these are the NFTs. There's 10,000 of those, sort of typical PFP drop when it was made. But then we have these other elements. So we have these more like whatever this is, some sort of a key. A world object, key to putting your enemies on blast. So this looks like a sort of more sort of gameplay sort of element here. We have these cool things which we can talk a little bit about. So these are, I think these are mechs. So this is one of the next big sort of steps, and this is in 2022. CyberBrokers has been running these quests, and people have been picking up parts for mechs. So mechs is going to be the next thing coming. So these are not live yet, but we can see this is a Ravager model mech. So that's quite cool. I mean, it just looks really nice. And what else have we got? Just kind of weird bits and bobs. Some of these CyberBrokers are really nice. There are more expensive ones, and we've got things like this. It looks like okay. So we have a bit of backstory here. Amari of Medina is a pop sensation. There's a little poster, and we've got some sort of items here. So this is a world object, and what's this? Some pills, blah blah blah, some pharma stuff here. Okay, maybe useful in the game. So we can just sort of just sort of like move around and see these sort of things going on. Oh, this is the other one, locations. We can look at that later. So that's sort of nice. We can explore. We can actually look at just on a flat way. There's some CyberBrokers. This one here is the 00. This is probably the most expensive one. There's only one like this with the man arms. And we can see this is serial numbers, so these are obviously super expensive ones because of the serial number. So that's what the artwork looks like. We can look in a bit more detail about that. We have these locations, which I don't even really know what these are. We can see here there are a bunch of these different locations, which presumably will be used in. Oh, this is the ethereal node where we just saw that other sort of that singer. Where the poster was for. So we have some locations. They're going to be used in different ways. Obviously, this is a safe zone. This is the area. This is the address. I mean, I'm not quite sure what those are, but a whole bunch of locations. There's a whole bunch of story stuff. So, story paradigm lost. We can, if you want to, sort of read through this sort of stuff. And I think some of these are, there's a whole bunch of story stuff, and some of the characters involved. And these were the characters who were involved in the quests, and people were sort of solving stuff. Excuse me. So what else? Story Ledger, that's the newspaper, I think. Yeah. So So this is the newspaper. So again, it's just a lot of backstory in here and a lot of just sort of fun stuff. There's some ads, keep your biz moving with ad buddies. I don't know if that's real or not. I presume it's probably not, but it's just sort of it's stuff that's sort of just fun. Glossary, blog, events, community, and then or if you can see here all these sort of links, different things, audio law, user guide, merch, all the socials we'd expect. Is the Substack. Marketplace, we can have a look at that in a minute, but then there's inventory as well, so we can have a look at this. So this is my CyberBroker. So I minted this from the Origin mint. Can't even remember how much it cost. Maybe something like, I don't know, between 1 and 2 ETH, something like that. So this is the sort of one I own. She's pretty common. She's not valuable, or she's not valuable and not sort of rare in any way. But I've not really been involved in any of the quests, vaguely in a few of them. But as these quests have gone on, for every quest you get one of these sort of parts for your mech. So we can see here I've actually got 2 legs. I'm not quite sure I managed to do that, but I've got some legs and an engine and 2 arms and a body and a head. So when the time comes, I can burn all these. These are all Enforcer classes, which are the cheapest ones. This one's a Ravager, and so yeah. Anyway, I've just got effectively the bog standard ones, but I've had to claim these, and then basically these will all get burnt at some point, and I'll generate a mech. I'll mint a mech, one of those mechs we saw before, and then you need a CyberBroker to sort of pilot one of the mechs. I'm not quite sure. That's obviously seems more gamey, but we'll sort of see exactly how that sort of pans out. I've got this lavender afterglow. Not quite sure what that does. It's just sort of an item, I guess. And then the nice thing here is you can see here. So this is my Roxy Hester. You can see her. That's my character. You can just see you can't really see, but she's a leftover, which is pretty common. So her uniqueness is basically not. She's not unique at all. But that's fine because I minted her. So and then we can sort of see how they did this clever thing with the artwork. So we can actually switch these layers off and on. So we can actually rotate it. So we can sort of get an idea of the different layers to some degree. And then we can sort of switch things off. So I can switch the background off. I can switch switch the background off, switch the body off, switch the face off, and then you can start to see sort of all the layers, pants, hair, what else we got left? So we've got outerwear, which is the top, and then just left with underwear, and then put the face back. So it's not a massive sort of big thing, but you can just sort of see how the procedural artwork is sort of generated. Which I think is just, again, it shows sort of attention to detail of the project, that it's just made these sort of things available. And it looks like I can download this artwork if I want to. And you can see here, it's got my address up there. So it's just, I just think it's a really sort of nice project. Let's have a quick look at OpenSea. So there we are. That's owned by me, and someone's put an offer in. But I can't remember what the mint price was. And we can see here generally what's going on here. So the price has gone up a little bit. So I think it has been as low as sort of 0.7 ETH. A lot of activity was happening back in the day at sort of 3-4 ETH for the that was the floor back in the day. From March, and we can see here the floor is about 1 at the moment. So it's come up a little bit. I think. That's partly because the price of ETH has gone down, I suppose. So in dollar values, people are putting the ETH price up a little bit. Still not a vast amount of sales going on. So we're getting. So we had 14 sales yesterday, 9 sales. So it's not obviously with the market as it is. People aren't sort of piling in to buy these. It's still sort of fairly expensive. But we can see here someone's bought that one for 2 ETH the other day. And as I say, I think this is a sort of an old school sort of project. And we can see here this one's obviously rarer because someone spent 2 ETH on it. This is a warrior class. What are the levels? So pretty body at least pretty strong. We can also see probably. Let's have a look further down. Okay, so no. So someone's minted that and just sold it now. Definitely think not investment advice by any means, certainly in this environment, but CyberBrokers is sort of, I think it is interesting to see these NFT projects. It seemed like at the start of the year, all NFT projects were sort of the same, and everything was going up, and it wasn't everyone clever. But now in this sort of situation, we see the projects that actually have sort of backbone and actually building stuff, and yeah, they sort of come to the fore. And I think there's a lot more to come with CyberBrokers. They are a pretty solid team, and they have really strong ideas about what they're doing. So good luck to them all. And yeah, I'd say sort of keep an eye on CyberBrokers. It will be one to watch, I think. Certainly with the mech stuff coming out, I think sort of over the next few months. This is just I think it doesn't need to be high concept for this sort of stuff. It's just sort of, to a degree, it's just sort of operations and delivery and implementation of a plan. And obviously, that takes time and money. So not the easiest thing to do, but those sort of things really stand out in this sort of these sort of market conditions. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and see you again soon.